Hi guys, welcome to another Barb Stamps video. In today's video, I'm going to show you a super cute fun fold that you can use with lots of different stamp sets to create super fun fold cards. I'm doing this as part of the Creative Inking blog hop today, so here's my supplies and let's get started. I am using products from the All Squared Away bundle, and in case you weren't aware, this is my June class to go. The class includes 8 cards, 2 each of 4 different designs. This is the card that I did a video on to kick off my class, and you can see how fun that is with the shimmer paper and of course the In Color Designer Series paper, some of our absolutely fabulous open weave ribbon, and then some of the In Color jewels. So you do get the Designer Series paper, you get some shimmer paper, you get the jewels, you get 2 different colors of ribbon, the polished pink and the fresh freesia. You get all the supplies to create the 8 cards plus envelopes for $45. Now the link to purchases is in the description of this video, and I have lots of kits left. Here's another card. This one is not part of my class, but this is one that I did in a Facebook Live 2 weeks ago. So you can find that on my YouTube channel just by clicking my name underneath the video here, and then you can find the rest of my videos. And while we're at it, if you could please give the video a thumbs up, I would greatly appreciate that. And you can always subscribe to my channel right down here in the corner. All right, so let's get started with our card. So I have taken a piece of the Subtles Designer Series paper, Highland Heather, this pattern here, and I have cut that to 1 1/4 by 4 1/4. I also have a piece of basic white that's 1 1/2 by 4 1/4, and these 2 pieces are going to layer together. I have some scraps. I have a scrap of white, a scrap of Granny Apple Green, and a scrap of Coastal Cabana. And I am going to be using the Floral Squares dies on these pieces. So I'm going to use this particular die here, and I'm going to cut that from the Granny Apple Green and the white. And then these coordinating flowers are going to be cut from the Coastal Cabana. I also have a small scrap of Highland Heather, and I'm going to get this little flower trio cut out of this, and the what's left on this scrap of the Coastal Cabana. I have a 2 1/4 by 2 1/4 inch piece of Highland Heather as a layer, and then my card base is going to be 4 1/4 by 11. So I'm going to start by folding this in half, and we're going to burnish that with a bone folder. Almost forgot, we need a 4 by 5 1/4 inch layer for the inside. So we've got this part done. Bring in my trimmer here, and I'm going to score at 1 inch on the front. There we go. And I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to kind of turn it around, and I'm going to tear off the edge of the 1 inch score, the part that we scored, and I'm going to do that from the inside because I want the cool torn edge to be on the outside of my card. I'm just tearing that off, and then as you can see, when I fold this back, my cool torn edge is going to be on the outside. So I need to burnish this. Okay, I'm going to go do some die cutting. Like I said, I'm going to cut both of these with this die here, and then these 2 flowers are going to be the Coastal Cabana, and the trio of flowers is going to be both. So I will do that, and I'll be right back. All right, here we are with all of our little pieces. Now this piece here, we're going to trim out the leaves, and so I'm just going to cut straight across down here at the bottom of this, just straight across there, and then we're going to snip off the top of the stems, and this is what we'll have. So we're going to add this to our layer of white along with those flowers. So I'm going to bring my liquid glue in so that I can get the glue where I want it. Whoops, not in the frame, sorry. So of course these will layer really nicely. And then we have our little flowers too. Whoops, get it so it's right side up, of course. And there we have, that is done. All right, so now we can kind of do some assembly on our card, but the first thing I want to do is to adhere these pieces to the card, or at least figure out where I'm going to adhere them. And then I'm going to make a little mark. I don't want them to be perfectly center because I just find it's hard to do that. So I'm going to bring them below center. So about like that. And I'm going to bring in a pencil. This just happens to be pink. And I'm going to kind of mark the center point of where those papers are going to be, because I need to cut a hole in that. And now you can do it with some scissors, but I prefer to use a punch. So I found that the fancy label punch works really well. So if I just get that pink spot, I hope you guys can see that. I'm getting that pink spot just inside my punch, just barely. That should be enough, I hope. Whoops, nope, just a tiny bit more. We can still see the pink. Of course, if I couldn't, I could just write on it again. And there we have a tiny little hole, which is going to be perfect for our ribbon. So now we can go ahead and add these pieces of paper, the white and the Highland Heather DSP. And again, we're going to kind of have it so that that hole is in the middle between these papers. There we go. And we'll add this one. And right down the middle here. There we go. Then we can take our ribbon, and I'm choosing to use the Gorgeous Grape sheer ribbon. And I'm just going to get that right through the hole there. It's going to come on the inside of the card and around the front. So we do need to secure this to the front of the card. So let's just go ahead and add some seal right there. There we go. And then we can bring our ribbon through and we can tie it. So, but we need to figure out where we want to tie it. So we're going to add our little frame here to the layer of Highland Heather. I'm going to do that with some more glue. On these edges, I'm very, very sparing with the glue because I do not want it to squish out all over and make a big mess. And if you kind of go back over your glue with your tip, you can kind of spread it out even a little bit better. Okay, center this. Okay. And I think maybe about like that. Okay, so we're gonna tie our knot or our bow right there. We'll see what we can come up with here. We may just do a knot because the ribbon is kind of not super thick, but thick enough. So we'll do it right there at the edge of the torn part. Trying to make sure it's nice and tight, and sometimes I struggle with this, and if I do, I'm going to show you a cheating way to do it. Oh, I think we got that pretty good. Okay. Get some scissors and snip that off. All right, so we've got our focal point here, so we're just going to attach that. I'm going to use some dimensionals for this. do at the top and the bottom. And that way we can kind of straddle the ribbon. Okay. How about that? And we need to do our inside, so we're going to go ahead and bring that in, and we'll do our stamping. So I think I want to stamp in Highland Heather. So I'm going to stamp. I just stuck my fingers in the grape ink, so I had to clean that off. Okay. Or the Highland Heather ink, I mean. Oh, you can even see my fingernail marks. Well, we're batting 100 today. Okay, so I'm going to stamp my little happiest of birthdays to you. About like this. And then we have the sentiment that says, you are so worth celebrating. And we're going to stamp that below. You know what? That's a tiny bit crooked. We're going to, since we have a second chance here, we're going to try to make it better. Right, try that again. That does look a little better. And then that. And then we can go ahead and add that to the inside of the card. All right. Okay. And then the last thing I want to do is just to add a few of these little flowers because they're so adorable. So I thought maybe we could add a couple of the coastal cabana ones, maybe around our sentiment. Where is my other coastal cabana one? All right, I just die cut myself another one. So I thought we could put a couple of these little flowers here. And then maybe a little flower trio on the corner here so that when the card is closed, you still have some fun that you can see down here at the bottom. So let's go ahead and just do that with some liquid glue. Way too much. Bring in the take your pick tool. Okay, super cute. And then if you want, you can decorate an envelope. So you take your envelope and then you can cut your designer series paper to 2.5 by 6. And then I like to add a tiny bit of liquid glue, very skinny bead around the edge of my envelope. Then we'll add this right to the edge. And then all you have to do is trim off the excess. And there is your completed card, except for some gems. We have these beautiful pastel pearls, and we have some gorgeous grape ones. And so I thought maybe we could add a few to the front of the card. There, that's the finishing touch we needed. All right, so there you go. There's a fun fold with an envelope and some embellishments. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to trim off the ends of my ribbon. We must have finished ribbon ends. There. All right, now it's done. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel right down here, and I'll see you in the next one.